rides and turn them into spaceships.
Yeah. So
Don't make sense.
there's a point where you go through that and like you get like everything figured out, but then you get to this one like wall of progression where like you have to beat all these old school styled arcade machines, and I swear to God, if you suck at old school arcade games, this is a game ender because you will never get past this.
That sucks. I
Yeah,
hate when games do that. When they were like require you have to get those done.
Oh yeah, well it's like Donkey Kong 64 where like there's a point in the game where you have to beat the original Donkey Kong arcade machine. And it's like that like literally walls off so many people from ever beating that game because they just can't beat the original Donkey Kong. It's an archaic game design that thankfully a lot of games don't do anymore. Hey guys, I'm Bill, a one-time Instagram blogger and now a podcaster.
And I'm Alex, the chaotic neutral.
And together we are the Gaming and Collecting Podcast.
A brother-sister duo.
That talks about gaming.
And also anime.
And don't forget the collecting, sometimes.
Ah, forget it. We're just a nostalgia podcast at this point.
But anyways, guys, thanks for joining us as we discuss the games that shaped us. So, how you been?
I'm tired.
Yeah, this week's been rough because we had a long weekend, and that always sucks coming back to work.
It really does. And I went to a dance competition this weekend, which was really fun. Our mother accompanied me, which was very nice of her to do. And it went pretty good. I got second. I completely forgot one of my dances, and I just started making it up at the end, so
That's always
that was
fun.
pretty funny. Yeah, I still got second, so can't complain.
Yeah, I've been. This week's been like one of those like really productive weeks that like you just feel like crap because you're so tired.
Yeah,
like,
I came in. I beat you to work. Well, I was coming in the same time as you to work a couple of days.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, because it's just been like we've had like consistent work, but it's like it's just so like we're basically just constantly moving. So it's like I get out of work and I'm so tired when I get home. Yeah, I mean, and then freaking my front steps are a wreck right now because of So, story time. The condo I moved into had a damaged sidewalk, and I guess it was from a previous like electrical thing, like way back before I owned it. So they actually the HOA got people to come and fix it. Fortunately, the people which was very nice, but the people that came to fix it sucked, and they like made a mess, like got cement dust everywhere, left trash in my garden, which was great. Possibly killed my plants. Might have ruined my lights. And got cement on my house, which I'm not happy about. And they ruined my pumpkin.
Were you able to get any of it off?
It's washed off pretty much everything. I'm hoping that it's supposed to rain this weekend, so I'm hoping that's gonna take care of the rest of it. Yeah, and then they didn't even block the path with any like a proper blocking thing. They just grabbed this rusty bar that they found like on the ground nearby the house and just stuck that across.
That's not safe.
No, it's not, because a UPS driver stepped in it because she didn't notice.
Oh.
And
now it has a footprint?
No, they fixed it after, which I wonder if that reason why they did such a shitty job is because they were mad and they were doing it out of vendetta. And of course, the UPS driver's leaving like numbers to call out of so that in case we wanted to file a claim, and I'm like, oh no, like this is all just bad. So yeah, that was my the worst part too is I saw the entire thing going through my Ring camera while I was at work.
Yeah, it's weird because I didn't even get an email or anything that they were going to be out there on the property, because my neighbor was having something done at her place because I kept hearing construction at it, and I was like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah,
But
it was
they
like
didn't
they
do
didn't.
anything at my place, so I'm just gonna take that as a win.
I guess. I mean, my sidewalk's fixed now, but they freaking made a freaking mess.
Yeah, but at least a mess will go away. A
I
broken
hope so.
sidewalk is harder to go away.
I hope it goes away. Um, I was honestly mostly annoyed about the trash in the yard. That was really I
There's a
wasn't impressed by.
pumpkin. I know you were really mad about the pumpkin.
Well,
You don't
it's not
have
only
to
the fact that
lie.
they covered it in crap, but they also they decided after the UPS incident happened, they decided to use the pumpkin as a block. And then they just left and didn't even like move anything out of the way. They just left it there, so I was greeted to it when I got home. It's
Well,
just a really unprofessional job.
yep.
They probably didn't get paid for it though, because they probably had to do it to fix the mess they made to begin with. So
Well, also remember the painter saga, Bill.
yeah, and
They
you should
don't
see
necessarily hire the most top quality people.
well, the groundskeepers left a shovel in my yard. If they don't come back for it by like the
It's
end of the
your
month,
shovel now.
I'm keeping it.
No, that's your shovel.
Yeah,
That's your shovel. It's yours.
it's really dirty and I don't really want it, but if they don't come back for it, I'm taking it.
It's your shovel now.
Also, they did a really shitty job with the like grass behind the house.
Yeah.
Granted, though, that's not 100% their fault. It's because they planted it right before a fucking downpour, and that always fucks that up.
Yeah, it's tough, but oh well. It's all
Yeah.
right. It's okay. I want carrot cake. My
Then don't buy it.
coworker was talking about baking a carrot cake, and I've been wanting it all week since then. Does anyone know where to get a good carrot cake slice in Connecticut?
I'm sure Big
Please
Y
let me
has
know.
it.
No, I want like good carrot cake, not a grocery store carrot cake. I
Then
want
look it up.
good carrot cake. I want carrot. I'm looking it up right now. Fuck the podcast. I want carrot cake.
So, update from last week. Last week I was drinking those Monster Energy like alcoholic drinks, and I will say they taste exactly like a Monster Energy, and because of that, they go down in like 2 seconds. And my God, they'll fuck you up real quick.
Oh, Russo's Pastry Shop Incorporated. Where are you? Where are you?
I also got I went to GameStop today because
Bill,
there was
I'm
some
looking
new
for
I don't give a
carrot cake.
I don't care about your carrot cake.
Look these out. I'm carrot cake right now.
But I went to GameStop to pick up a few games and I bought Sonic Superstar because
Sonic Hero.
I enjoyed the Sonic series.
Hero.
And I also got Sonic Origins Plus, so I'm gonna look forward to giving those a shot this weekend probably.
Bill.
We also went manga shopping over the weekend.
Oh
Like
yeah, I did.
Alex actually bought manga for once.
Yeah, I do. I buy it. I bought the newest volume of Parasite, uh the colored in version. So they're doing one where it's a full color spread, which is pretty cool. And then then they didn't have any Welcome to Demon School new ones. It won't be out till like the end of the month, I think, or November. They and then I bought one of a new series I really liked, which is My Happy Marriage. I bought the first 4 volumes of the manga for that, which I'm excited to read because I loved the show and I just want more. And I'm trying to make Bill watch it.
Yeah, it's on my list. It's probably going to be an anime swap as soon as I find a comparable show to put
No,
alongside it.
spoilers.
Oh,
Spoilers.
who cares then?
I care.
We've spoiled it in the past before.
So I found this place called Russo's Pastry Shop. It has 4.7 stars out of 727 reviews. I would say that's pretty good. And one of the reviews says, "We purchased a carrot cake, and it's absolutely the best we've ever had. It's smooth, not too sweet, and for people like me who don't like dot 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 dot." I can't say the rest.
Okay,
I want carrot cake.
then go buy it.
Actually, can you not get Panera? Can you just stop and get me carrot cake?
No, I'm not buying you pastries. So what are you drinking, Alex? You're being dramatic and the mic's not picking it up. You're being too dramatic. It's breaking your mic.
Oh, buy me carrot cake.
I'm not buying you desserts. You can go get those yourself.
No, I want carrot cake. I found
Go buy
another
it.
bakery.
You drinking
Anyway,
anything special or no?
I am. I'm drinking a Big Y spring water.
All right,
bottle
I'm
made
muting you
of
now.
recycled plastic.
I'm muting you now.
16.9 fluid ounces, which is equivalent to
wrong with
500
you?
milliliters. In New York, Connecticut, and Maine, you can recycle it for 5 cents. It's processed by ozonol.
This is where I'm going to insert the clown music.
Da, 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 da. Slade's
Oh,
not
speaking
here.
of that, Slade called you out.
What? What did he do?
He caught a tuna first try.
Go fuck yourself, Slade. How dare you?
And he had to gloat on the server about it.
I'm never coming back to the server now. Fuck you,
Yeah, you
Slade.
will. You're in it right now.
No, I'm out. I quit the podcast.
No, you don't.
I do. I quit. I'm going to
I
go.
guess
I'm gonna go start carrot cake business.
Whatever.
I want carrot cake. Auntie Kathy's Kitchen. Oh,
I picked up a few manga myself. I got
No.
I finished collecting.
Oh,
I finished collecting Urusei
No.
Yatsura, so I'm happy about that. There's also a new manga that I've been reading called like The Dangers in My Heart, which is apparently another rom-com that's apparently pretty good. So I'm looking forward to reading that. Other than that, though,
do you have one about carrot cake?
no, I'm done. I'm not indulging in your carrot cake bullshit anymore.
Wait, Bill.
What?
Did you know that my water bottle, the water is sourced from Chester Hill Springs in Chester Hill, Massachusetts?
Joke isn't funny,
South
and you just
Spring
keep running
in
it into the
Pittsfield,
ground.
Massachusetts, and Morgan Spring in Burlington. That's a lot of different sources for one water bottle. It's like 10 different springs. Also, the cap poses as a small choking hazard, so be careful.
You've already made this joke. It's not funny. The fourth time.
Hey, Bill.
What?
Fuck you! I make the jokes around here. It's the comic relief.
It
You're
had,
the knowledge
you know,
one.
to qualify as a joke, it has to be funny.
Get out!
I'm in my own house, ma'am.
Move out of my town.
No. You move out of it if it makes you that upset.
No. I was here first. Get the fuck out of
Redacted address. Please don't dox us, Alex. Thanks. Just give away our location. We'll go for it.
Can you censor that? Can you censor that?
If I can remember the timestamp.
Alright, I'll yell at you to do that. Anyways.
So, moving on, we're going to jump back into one of our ongoing series. We're going to be talking about the games that shaped us again, because we played a lot of shit back in the day. Some of it was pretty good, others not so much. So, this time we're actually going to talk about another Nickelodeon game, or 2 Nickelodeon games in a row.
And we had a lot of them, clearly.
Well, Nickelodeon had a track record of making decent games at the time. Like,
They did.
I remember more Nickelodeon games being good than Cartoon Network games. Like, when I'm thinking of Cartoon Network games, the only one I can think of that was decent was the Ed, Ed, and Eddie game on PS2 was okay. And even then,
I don't remember any.
Exactly. Like, that's legit the only one I remember being decent. There was that really bad Powerpuff Girls fighting game that you had for PlayStation 1.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I still have that. It's in my collection now.
You stole my shit. Give it back.
No, your version's gone. I found a copy at a dollar bin and I bought it for nostalgia purposes.
That could have been mine. Mom could have just given it away
No,
and it ended up there.
The reason your copy doesn't exist anymore because it broke.
It did?
Because you never put the discs away and they got crushed.
Oh.
You would just put the discs on top of the case and then put it back.
I was a child. I was a child.
Yep. That's why I didn't feel bad when all your discs broke.
Pooster, he's being mean to me.
Tilly doesn't care.
She's sitting on the couch. She stole my seat. As soon as I got up, she cozied herself right where I was sitting.
That's what she does. She's a cat.
She
It's her
was in my
seat.
lap before, though. She's a
Eh,
lap cat.
only for you. She doesn't like other humans.
No. She likes Mom.
Sometimes.
She just has to, like, remember who Mom is, and then, like, she's like, oh, yeah, I like you.
The
But
only other
anyways,
human that's been able to interact with her is Sunny, so.
yeah, Sunny's a magical cat whisperer. Well, Sunny can whisper to Tilly. Our father cannot, and it makes him upset secretly that he can't whisper to Tilly.
The one cat he can't whisper to.
No, our dad is definitely like the cat whisperer because of his work. He ends up like, going into people's houses, and also meeting their cats. So
He's an appliance repairman, just to clarify that.
yeah, he's not a robber, I swear.
Yeah, but going back to the topic at hand, so Nickelodeon games, there was a ton of them. The most notable ones most people remember are the SpongeBob ones because those tended to be the most well-made. At least
Well,
they had
especially the fact that Battle for Bikini Bottom got remade. Like
Battle for
in
Bikini
modern.
Bottom is so pop. Well, to be fair, a lot of Battle for Bikini Bottom's popularity came from the fact that it's a really big speedrunning game. But also the fact that it is legitimately a really just well-made platformer. It was so well received that it got a freaking remake, and then that remake did so well they made another game based off of that engine.
Yeah.
That apparently was pretty good. I haven't played it yet, but I own it and I'll get to it at some point.
Just to let people know, the game we're going to talk about didn't get that.
No. I mean, to be fair, though, the game we're going to talk about isn't bad comparatively to the other games in that series. But yeah, like, Fairly Odd Parents had a few games. They're okay, nothing special. There was also the TAC series, which started as games and became a series, and then the series then, well, originally I guess it was supposed to be a TV series, then it became a game first, and those exist. The first two are okay.
I never watched a single episode.
No, the show is utter trash. The game was okay. And then there was the other series, the one that honestly transitioned into video games from a look standpoint, probably the best, and that was Jimmy Neutron.
Jimmy Neutron, because they already looked robotic and game-like in the TV show.
Do you remember when that show looked good?
No.
When it first came out. No, when it first came out.
When it first came out, it clearly didn't look as good as the movie, but it looked, decent at the time.
For CG standards at the time, that was pretty good. It's definitely.
Now it's garbage.
Well, yeah, you look at it now and it's like, yep, times have changed. Like, this doesn't look great anymore. But at the time, it was pretty solid. I mean, even the movie hasn't aged particularly well either.
What do you mean? They do the chicken dance.
You know what that studio ended up making that ended up sinking them?
What?
The Ant Bully.
Good. That movie sucked.
I don't even remember it.
He bullied ants, and then he became ant-sized.
I only joke I remember from that movie is the trailer shot where like the ant makes the joke about I swear across my heart and then rubs like the part on the back because I guess that's where ants' hearts are, and he goes, "I said your heart, not your butt." I'm like, yeah, this is a kid's movie, all right.
Yep.
But yeah, so Jimmy Neutron had a whole ton of games released for it. There was one based off the movie. There was one based off the James Bond parody. They had the
I forgot about that.
Jet Fusion game. And then there was the one that we're going to be talking about today based off of the TV episode of the same name, Jimmy Neutron. Basically a TV mini movie in a sense.
It was the start of season 3. So episodes 1 to 2 of season 3 was a mini episode called
Attack of the Twonkies. And this is probably the most memorable.
Not Twinkies, anyone. Twonkies.
Yeah. That would make for a hell of a different film.
Attack of the Twinkies. Everyone would just eat the Twinkies.
Sure.
And they would never expire.
Yeah, so that
Twinkies?
Do you remember the hype for the yes, the hostess treat is Twinkies, yes.
Yeah, I remember the hype for this. They definitely amped it up. Well, I think it originally probably was supposed to be maybe like another standalone film, and then they didn't
Well, I
have enough
believe
content.
originally it was supposed to be a made-for-TV movie,
Yeah.
and then the budget wasn't there for that, so they ended up just cutting a lot of stuff and making it a two-parter.
Mm.
Because a lot of the stuff they cut actually was used for the game, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Well, like a lot of the
No?
concepts, like how the game, like, well, we'll get into it when we talk about the games, but
Yes.
the TV episode I remember was very it was very hyped, and I remember when that came out because we watched it, and
Mm.
I remember it being somewhat disturbing at the time just because of like the freaking mutations the
Oh,
Twonkies go
yeah.
through.
Well, so when they first start out the episode, it's like, I think it was like they were planning on going to, like, on a comet or like a planet, which was like the Twonky planet or something. And it was
So
going around it only goes around the Earth every once in a while. So like Jimmy was like, I'm
Twonkus
gonna
3.
Twonkus.
Twonkus
Ooh.
3.
So
Why
I
do I
think
remember that?
Jimmy took his rocket ship that he shouldn't be able to survive space in. And I'm still
Hey,
annoyed about that.
that's my
Um,
favorite joke in the series is whenever they ask about that, and it cuts to Carl singing in the background as he's explaining it.
yes.
And then they tell Carl to shut up. That was a good joke.
And then when he's on there, I think he gets like, I don't know why he even went on. Ah, 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 ah,
What,
ah,
what,
ah.
what did you do?
What the? Where's the sound coming from?
What sound?
Ah! Ah! So
Are you good?
no, a random ad started playing, and it was so loud in my headphones.
This
I
is all
couldn't figure
because
out.
of you. It's all because you were messing with YouTube before this.
No, it's a random ad on a website I was on, and then
Oh.
it just started blasting an ad, and it was like just blowing up my ears. Oh my god!
Well,
That's
while she
gonna.
recovers from that, basically Jimmy was looking for soil samples on this comet, and he dug up some stuff, and then this giant monster tried to destroy his rocket ship.
Which is a Twonky, but they
Well,
don't know
we
it
don't
yet.
know that, and he was very mad because Jimmy had music playing out of the
I
rocket.
was
So
just I just had the reaction of a Twonky.
pretty
Because
much, yeah.
music started playing, and I was like, ah!
Yeah, I remember that movie being. It felt longer as a kid, but you watch it now and it's really short.
Because we rewatched it recently, and it went by so quick.
Well,
You
it's
can definitely tell
basically.
if it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be longer.
Hmm.
It felt very quick.
Well, because like it's you can literally sum it up like is Jimmy goes to Comet, digs up some dirt. Dirt has Twonky in it. Twonky reproduces. Everyone gets Twonky. Twonkies hate music. Twonkies go on evil rampage.
Yeah.
Jimmy has to save the day.
Well, it's
Band.
all Carl's fault.
Yeah, well, because this is where Carl wanted a pet, and like literally
Well, it's 'cause,
he
like,
was
one of
allergic to
the
everything.
well, one of the Twonkies like stowed away when they're cute and cuddly and not like giant monsters, which are terrifying. And then Carl was like, "I want a pet. I'm gonna take the alien space creature to school, and
Well,
everything
because
will
he
be
didn't
fine."
sneeze, it didn't make
And
it.
then it had babies out of its mouth.
That's actually one of my favorite jokes. Is like where Carl goes to the pet store and he's like trying all these different pets that like they're so like bizarre. Like one of them's like a spider monkey, and it's literally just a tiny monkey. A whole bunch of things, and they all set off his allergies. And then at one point they like literally give him this like fish frozen in ice, and Carl's like, "Hey, I'm not getting sick," and then his dad's like, "I'm allergic to ice." It's like what? Yeah, it was like one of those things. And then of course he wants the Twonky because it doesn't make him sick, but of course they're insane and they spread across the entire
Well,
town very
yeah, because they
fast.
spread, and then but then suddenly someone plays music, and they all start going ape shit and
Well, no,
become like
Carl
mutant
plays
little
music for
strippers.
his, and it goes mad, and then we get the compilation of all the townsfolk playing music and them
Yeah,
taking
because
over
of
the
course
town.
eventually everyone's gonna start playing their music or watching TV or something.
But then we get to the other subplot of this movie, which is Sheen trying to join the school chorus, but Sheen can't sing for shit. and he gets fired, and his voice is so bad that his Twonky just gets lulled to sleep. And then
Oh,
we find out that Sheen is the cure for the Twonkies.
yes.
It's a very simple plot, and then it ends with a hilarious like stinger where they forgot about Sheen's Twonky when they sent them all away.
Yep.
Yep. And it ends there. Then we see they end up being recurring background characters for the
Oh,
rest of
yeah.
the series.
They definitely keep like appearing randomly, like out of the blue, but they never really do anything. They're just kind of there.
No,
in
they're
the
just a
background.
running gag by that point. But moving on to now the game. The game itself is interesting because it actually like has way more story and content than the actual TV episode.
Mm.
And I'll say like the game itself, so the Jimmy Neutron's history with games had been pretty bad to begin
Yes.
with. And up until this point, all the games had been pretty mediocre. Like I think the original PC game based off the movie is noteworthy just because of how like hilariously bizarre it is. But other than that, though, his history had been pretty bad, and so this game actually was made by THQ in-house.
How?
Their Australian studio back in the day, which was, I think that's the same studio that made the Avatar games. So good on them, I guess. But yeah, so the game itself is a platformer slash action game. You don't do a lot of platforming in this game. It's mostly an action game. And they actually flesh out a lot of the events. Like you actually have to like travel to Twonkus 3 and there's like a whole like space station arc that you have to go through, and then like you actually get to explore the planet and you find the mineral shit, and then like there's a boss. You can actually get stranded on the planet because there's a boss of like the Twonky monster destroying Jimmy's ship, and if you're not fast enough, you lose, you die on the planet.
Yep.
But basically
Your head explodes
the game is
from the lack
kind
of
of like
oxygen.
the game is kind of like Ape Escape in a way, where like you have to go around collecting Twonkies.
Oh yeah, it really is. And there's bosses.
Yeah,
Is this just an Ape Escape clone?
Ape Escape with less platforming,
Yeah.
I'd say, and the
Not
weapons
as
aren't.
good Ape Escape clone.
Yeah, and the weapons aren't nearly as fun to use because you basically your main two So there's one thing this game is really funny about is you can make a shit ton of inventions in this game. Only a handful of them actually matter. Most of them are just like there's one that's literally you can draw on the ground with it. Another one shrinks Jimmy's head. Very useful.
Yes.
Um,
Most helpful.
it's a lot of really lame stuff like that, but it's creative. Like, 'cause you actually have to find the items throughout the levels and make inventions, and you have to think a little.
Yeah, that is one of the fun things about this game is the fact that like it takes the very much essence of the show where Jimmy had to kind of create stuff on the spot in order to save the day, and it is good that it kind of put it in the game.
Yeah, and you have to you get to explore around the town, like meet all the characters. For some reason, they use Cindy's old model from like the movie and not the.
Oh yeah, they did with the pigtails.
Yeah,
Maybe it was just like an old asset they used, and
I'm guessing, but the funny part is they didn't even. They updated Libby's model, so I don't know.
maybe they updated one and then just were like, yeah, whatever. Tried.
That's always been something that I've always wondered about, and it was always like one of those yeah whatever things. It's funny though, you go through a whole bunch of like different things. Like there's actually like different like elemental Twonkies in this game. Like there's the original ones. There's like
all the bosses are like a different element.
Yeah, and like there's like electric ones. There's like ice ones. There's like these weird dark matter ones at the end of the game. And they have more forms. They have like the tiny form, the evil form, and then there's like an even bigger form that's kind of like an in between of the main form and the final like giant sized ones. And it's funny because like you have to like use like the Sheen voice thing to like shrink them down, and then you catch them with the vacuum gun. So it's actually like a mixture of Ape Escape and Luigi's Mansion in a way.
I'm trying to look at the different Twonky models.
They're not nearly as good as the show because
No,
obviously,
clearly not. I mean, oh
um,
yeah, this one. I'm like the one where they're like slightly bigger and they throw like meatballs at you.
yeah, no, they throw more Twonkies.
Oh, is that what they're throwing? It just looks like a meatball. I get
It's
that it's a Twonky.
yeah, it's like a little Twonky
You
thing.
know, I gotta say, they're pretty freaky looking.
They are, especially the
Like,
lightning big one, where it's like, why is it like this demonic creature floating in the sky?
they're all pretty creepy. Like, even in the show, like the giant monster version was pretty creepy for a kid's show.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the giant lightning guy. Oh yeah, giant lightning guy. Yeah, he's pretty freaking creepy. Oh my god, he's terrifying.
yeah.
Ugh.
That whole boss is a joy because you have to like
Especially
use
his,
these.
he has like red eyes too. Oh, they're all
Yeah,
creepy. Like
there's
these
like
are freaky.
yeah, this game was pretty creative though. Like you went through some pretty wacky levels throughout it. Like literally, like I was saying earlier, like when you're going through like the comet, like there's actually a point where Jimmy runs out of gas and he has to stop at this abandoned fucking space station that he just happens across, and you have to go through the space station to find batteries, which is kind of cool.
Right?
There's the so I will say the most annoying level in this game is once you get towards the end. There's an entire stage based around Retro World or Retroland, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
The theme park from the first movie.
Yep.
Um,
Where they took all the rides and turned them into spaceships.
yeah.
That
So
don't make sense.
there's a point where you go through that and like you get like everything figured out, but then you get to this one like wall of progression where like you have to beat all these old school styled arcade machines, and I swear to God, if you suck at old school arcade games, this is a game ender because you will never get past this.
That sucks. I
Yeah,
hate when games do that. When they were like require you have to get those done.
oh yeah, well
Ugh.
it's like Donkey Kong 64 where like there's a point in the game where you have to beat the original Donkey Kong arcade machine, and it's like that like literally walls off so many people from ever beating that game because they just can't beat the original Donkey
Yeah.
Kong. It's an arcade game design that thankfully a lot of games don't do anymore. But yeah, I remember like I was as a kid because this game came out quite a while ago. It was PS2 era, so like 2004. So yeah, 2004. I was 9, so
And I was 8.
yep. And getting to those arcade levels, I wasn't that good at games yet, so like those levels sucked, and I could not beat them for the life of me. They were all ripoffs of like classic arcade games too. Like one of them was clearly Frogger, another was Breakout. Um, there was like a Space Invaders one. It was all these like very just like old school style arcade games, and they were a pain in the ass because you had to beat the high score on all of them to get to the next part of the level.
Yeah.
I will say though, a nice touch was they got all the original voice actors back
Oh, for this series?
for this game. Yep,
I
THQ
wonder
got
if a
them
lot
all.
of it though was like repeated audio though. Like most of it they could pull from the show or something.
Maybe there was a lot of new lines though. I will say, nothing that sounded generic, so that's good. I mean, it wasn't like Battle for Bikini Bottom where Mr. Krabs is clearly not Mr. Krabs,
Yeah.
where he's like that other guy that's doing a really bad Mr. Krabs impression.
Oh,
Yeah.
some of these like screenshots of just like the characters in the game look so creepy and off model.
Yeah, they were doing the best they could with PS2, but like even then, it's very much like you kind of see it and you go, it's okay. They tried.
There's like a ton of these weird like things where they have like models of the characters in the games where they have their arms all out to the side and they all look very bug-eyed and terrified. Like they've seen some shit and they can't not unsee it.
They basically look like lower polygon versions of the actual show models, and
Yeah.
it's not a pleasant look nowadays. Thankfully, the
No.
environments all look really good.
Yeah, I will say looking at some of these photos, like the environments do look pretty good.
Like it looks like the show pretty well, and you can
Yeah.
actually go around a whole bunch of different all the levels are pretty fleshed out. Like there's a ton of stuff you can explore. You can go inside a bunch of houses too, and explore because you got to find more Twonkies, of course.
Yeah, you
Um,
get the Twonky.
You know what I found hilarious about the end of the game though?
What?
So unlike the show where like the band plays and the band is such a parody of like emo, it's not even funny. Um,
Emo.
so in the show the band starts playing while they have the Twonky like locked up in this like box, and like of course it breaks out, but they're playing it at the school with like this big crowd. In the game it's literally just Jimmy, Carl, and Sheen, and no one else is there. And they're in an ice skating rink for some reason.
Why not?
Well, it's so they could use all the different elemental powers because
Ah.
the final boss is
Oh, it's
essentially
like he's a combo of them all, right?
yeah, he was the final boss was essentially it was all four of the major bosses just like mixed together in one fight. And it was an okay boss. The game's very easy. Like the hardest part of this game is the damn arcade section. That and some of the vehicle sections aren't particularly fun either because they don't play particularly well, but other than that the game's pretty good. It controls well enough. There's no like glitches. I remember playing this one quite a bit back in the day. This was like this was like the peak of like me and you switching off like the TV and the gaming
Yes.
because you would watch whatever you were watching at that point.
Well, and this was one where I could go and I could watch you play the games, which was for the most part my experience was watching you play this one. So
I think you tried to play this one, you didn't get very far because you didn't have the motor skills to play these games.
yeah, I just wasn't. I didn't get it.
You like your biggest problem was you couldn't get into any game that wasn't like a menu for the most part, or like a simulation.
It's rude.
You know it's kind of true though. You're not denying it.
I am denying it.
No, you're not.
I am.
But yeah, other than that,
You're a big old meanie.
there's not much more to say about this game. It was like the last real Jimmy Neutron game they released. Because I think his only other appearances were in those Nicktoons Unite games, which I don't know if we'll ever talk about those in the future because they're not very good. But yeah,
Did we play those?
we had the first one. I don't remember if we played much of it though. I have all of them now. We might want to visit that at some point just to see how they hold up.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that though, not much else to say. This studio later went on to make, as I said earlier, a bunch of Avatar games, and then they went out of business because THQ went out of business.
Wow.
And now THQ is owned by some European company, and they call themselves THQ Nordic.
Nordic.
Yep. Yeah. But other than that, not much to say. Her mic just breaks every time she does that, and she doesn't seem to realize it yet.
Wait, did you hear me go, yeah?
No, because you kept your mic keeps breaking because you're being too dramatic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, so once again, guys, thanks for joining us on the Gaming and Collecting Podcast. The Gaming and Collecting Podcast can be found on all your major podcasting platforms.
Don't find us.
You can find all of our links at linktree/The Barber Games, and if you want, you can hang out with us on the GNC Podcast. You can hang out with us on the GNC Podcast Network Discord server, where we hang out. We talk games, anime, all sorts of fun stuff. You get updates on the podcast. We're all very nice there.
Not me.
Well, yeah, Alex doesn't really hang out anymore.
Not the parasite.
But anyways, guys, once again, thanks for joining us. We will see you all next time.
No, this is the last episode. You'll never hear from us again.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
No.